Donald Trump never wanted to be president. I said that from the very beginning because of the way that he entered the primary races. Donald Trump came into the race denigrating Mexicans. He later went on to denigrate women, handicapped people, Muslims, veterans, and African Americans. The only people that are left that he can denigrate are Asians, and that's really about it. I mean, I guess he could go after the Hindus and the other religious groups, but there's pretty much nobody left for him to denigrate. Each time Donald Trump went after someone in a traditional race, Donald Trump should have been in the toilet. Unfortunately, you have so many crazy, yeah, and I'm calling them crazy, bigoted people out there to some extent that instead of his poll numbers going down, his poll numbers went up. People supported his views. Now, I refuse to believe that 40, 50% in that vicinity of the people in this country are racist, biased, or even subscribe, for the most part, to Donald Trump's publicly stated views. I think they are angry at their party. I'm speaking about the GOP, just as the Democrats are angry at their party, which is the reason why Bernie Sanders has done so well. The difference between Sanders and Trump is that Bernie Sanders is basically pushing a positive message while Donald Trump was pushing a negative message. Donald Trump, in my opinion, has been searching for a way to lose the primaries, and now that it hasn't gone the way that it should have gone, and I think even in his mind it shouldn't have gone this way, he has finally found something that will absolutely disqualify him as Commander-in-Chief and President of the United States. In order to vote for Donald Trump, you basically have to subscribe to his racist, misogynistic, and Islamophobic ideas. And yeah, there's going to be a segment of our population that are going to subscribe to those ideas, but again, I'm saying that the majority of the American people do not subscribe to these ideas. Now, this particular clip, the information that was just released indicates that though major figures in the GOP are condemning his comments regarding the Hispanic heritage of the judge, and they also debunked the fact that the judge belonged to an organization that was pro-Mexico. And in case you didn't know about that one, once the judge was sworn in as a federal judge, he had to disassociate himself from any political affiliation or group. So the group that Trump is claiming he's a member of, La Raza, he is no longer a member of that group and has not been a member of that group for his entire term. Trump is jumping up and down about Mexico and the wall and all that. Trump never even looked into the judge's history. This particular judge, when he was a prosecutor, put his life on the line in order to prosecute drug cartels coming out of Mexico. And there were numerous death threats on his life, to the point that he had to actually go into hiding. So that in itself probably should have made him a Trump ally, except for the fact that somebody drew the Trump University case, and unfortunately for this judge, based on all the things that Trump is doing, he drew the case. Donald Trump's entire organization is in chaos. There is no direction whatsoever for his candidacy for the upcoming election. In my opinion, he is trying everything that he can to get out of actually being nominated for this position. And I honestly think that, yeah, he wanted to run, but he didn't want to win. And he probably felt that he would have been in it for a couple of months. The numbers wouldn't have supported him continuing. He didn't put a lot of money into his campaign, and actually he loaned his campaign the money. He didn't contribute the money, and he felt that after he was out, he could do some fundraisers and get his money back. That obviously is not the case. Anyway, I'm going to play this clip from MSNBC and allow you to get a quote-unquote progressive, and MSNBC is not progressive. They're more middle of the road at this point as to what's going on with Trump, and the fact that he is now instructing his surrogates to double down on the attacks on the American judge with Hispanic heritage.
Brought you a preview of tomorrow's big Democratic showdown, but on the Republican side, most important contest is what often gets dubbed as an invisible primary. It's the race to become Donald Trump's running mate. It's today's race of the day, and it is a wide open field on this one, but our NBC political unit has these 8 people as the top potential picks for Trump, each with their own strengths and weaknesses. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, he of course Trump's first major endorser, another candidate known for telling it like it is, but his lack of home state support and the shadow of the Bridgegate scandal could dog him.
Chris Christie will not get there. Chris Christie is hated in his own state of New Jersey, so he brings nothing to the table to help Donald Trump.
Florida's Governor Rick Scott was a businessman turned politician, just like Trump, but some parts of his business career could yield plenty of scrutiny.
Rick Scott barely won Florida. He will not be able to deliver Florida. Now, someone else could, I guess, possibly Rubio or some of the other elected officials down in Florida might be able to deliver Florida, but not Rick Scott. Plus, he's got a dubious business history, so when they start digging into that, a whole bunch of skeletons are going to come out of the closet.
Oklahoma Governor Mary Fallin would help Trump with a woman on the ticket to combat Hillary Clinton's historic candidacy. She is, though, relatively unknown outside her state. On the Senate side, Tennessee's Bob Corker is a well-respected foreign policy voice, but he's been critical of Trump's Muslim ban and of his comments about that judge who's deciding the Trump University case.
Yeah, he might have disqualified himself yesterday when his comments regarding the racist remarks of Trump were shown on mainstream media.
Alabama's Jeff Sessions checks all of Trump's boxes on immigration. No doubling down on the hard line could cost the Republicans even more Latino voters. South Dakota's John Thune is the #3 leader in the Senate, would give Trump an inside voice, but he also goes against Trump's anti-Washington message. New Hampshire's Kelly Ayotte would give Trump a young, national security-minded female senator who's also from a swing state, but making her VP would probably cost the Republicans her hotly contested Senate seat. She's also called on Trump to retract his comments about Judge Curiel and Muslim judges. And
that's going to probably disqualify her too. And to be honest with you, the Republicans are pinning their hopes on her to keep that Senate seat. Same situation as far as Clinton picking Elizabeth Warren. There's no way that they're going to put Warren on that ticket, because if they do, they will lose a Democratic seat out of Massachusetts, because the governor is a Republican, and obviously he would replace her with a Republican.
And there's this man, ex-House Speaker Newt Gingrich, a known brand in his own right, but at the same time, he could limit Trump's ability to attack Hillary Clinton on Bill Clinton's sex scandals, given, of course, Gingrich's own past. Plus, Gingrich called Trump's comments about Judge Curiel inexcusable this weekend, although after Trump deemed his criticism inappropriate, Gingrich walked his comments back a bit. Those are just a few potential running mates for Trump. It's not the only drama they're dealing with right now, though. Our report on Trump campaign dysfunction after this. Donald Trump has been gifted with a dream scenario that was unthinkable just a month ago. He has a big head start when it comes to the general election. Now
Right, and Donald Trump just squandered the majority of it with the comments that he's made regarding the Hispanic judge, and also his comments regarding the potential for a Muslim judge not being able to hear any case that he has anything to do with.
Largely seen Republicans publicly falling in line behind Trump since he became the presumptive Republican nominee. This despite serious reservations many of them have about his temperament and his campaign. But that loyalty is now being severely stressed, and possibly to its breaking point. We also have new reporting from NBC News that Trump's campaign infrastructure is in tatters. This has been a dizzying 72 hours for Trump. His own supporters, including House Speaker Paul Ryan, former Speaker Newt Gingrich, also a possible Trump VP pick, Senator Bob Corker, as well as Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, even Trump's own advisor Ben Carson, all of them condemning Trump for attacking federal judge Gonzalo Curiel. Trump says the judge is unfit to oversee the Trump University court case because of the judge's Mexican heritage.
Now, when Ben Carson came out and made a statement condemning Trump's comments, I could absolutely not believe it. Ben Carson didn't even defend himself as far as maintaining any self-respect. So now he's going to come out and show a little moral fiber as far as racist comments against this Hispanic judge is concerned. Unflippin' believable.
Here's Gingrich.
This is one of the worst mistakes Trump has made, and I think it's inexcusable. This judge was born in Indiana. He is an American, period. If a liberal were to attack Justice Clarence Thomas on the grounds that he's black, we would all go crazy. Every conservative would say it was wrong, and it was racism.
Now, Trump responded to that today, slamming Gingrich's comments as inappropriate. And Gingrich has significantly softened his criticism now, telling Chris Cillizza of the Washington Post, that's a good friend of the show, that, quote, Trump's complaints about the judge and the law firm in the Trump University case are valid and reflect a growing pattern of politicized justice.
See, somebody cut Gingrich's balls off again for him to back down when he was 100% right. But I guess he really wants to be vice president, so, you know, he's doing what he has to do, basically by any means necessary to become the vice president. So he basically cut his own balls off, I guess, to come out with that particular statement.
Today, Trump's own advisor, Ben Carson, put out this scathing statement on social media. We should note that NBC News has been told that this is a direct response to Trump's comments on Judge Curiel. Quote here, every human being is an individual first rather than a member of an identity group. The moment we forget that is the moment we enter into a phase of moral dissent. The reaction kept pouring in today. Senator Ben Sasse, no fan of Trump, he called Trump's comments the, quote, literal definition of racism. Ohio Governor John Kasich is calling on Trump to apologize to the judge. Senator Kelly Ayotte of New Hampshire is a Trump supporter up for re-election. She's slamming Trump's comments as offensive and wrong. He should retract them, she says. Senator Marco Rubio of Florida says he is, quote, quite frankly, very disturbed. And just moments ago, Ted Cruz joined the chorus, telling NBC it is obviously inappropriate to attack a judge's race or ethnicity. Also, new now, just moments ago, Bloomberg News reporting that Trump is ordering his surrogates to double down on his criticism of the judge, despite an apparent campaign directive to stop talking about it. They report that, quote, Trump urgently rallied his most visible supporters to defend his attacks on a federal judge's Mexican ancestry during a conference call on Monday, in which he ordered them to question the judge's credibility and impugn reporters as racist. We've got a trio of Trump gurus with us now. NBC's Katie Tur has been covering the Trump campaign from the very beginning. Rick Tyler was at the center of the Trump storm when he served as a top aide to Ted Cruz's campaign. And Ben Ginsberg is a Republican deal maker and elections lawyer. Both Rick and Ben are political analysts for NBC News and MSNBC. Katie Tur.
Now that's rich. You are going to call reporters racist for reporting your racist remarks. That it defies logic, but you know, Trump is Trump. And again, I'm saying he's doing all of this so he can get the hell out of the race.
Let's start with you. We have seen the reaction here from Republicans over the last couple days, but now this report that Trump, instead of backing off, he's telling people around him, go even harder on this?
You know, I haven't seen this sort of combined, this crescendo of criticism since, I think, the Muslim ban going against Donald Trump. He's so far been edging towards Republican Party unity relatively successfully. This is a major step backward in that arena. But Donald Trump's campaign is, as you said, not backing down. I don't even think we can call it a doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down. It's more than that. He's telling his surrogates now to actively go out there, defend his remarks on the judge, and call the reporters who are questioning him racist themselves, which is another step further in this saga, if you will, and then we've even seen over the weekend. Now, I've been talking to multiple sources, both inside the campaign and sources that are working closely with the campaign. Inside the campaign, I'm told that there is a lot of dissent over this judge attack. There's a lot of folks in the campaign who believe that this is not the right idea. It's not the way to go. It's only going to alienate Latino voters even more. They realize, aides in the campaign realize that they do have a problem with Latino voters. They do have a gap that they're going to need to overcome. The candidate, though, refusing to acknowledge that. People outside of the campaign, but who are working closely with the campaign, say that they believe Donald Trump was going to start backing off of this. They were assured that he would start backing off of this since last Friday when he taped those Sunday morning interviews. They were cautious about it because Donald Trump often changes his mind, and this is another example of him changing his mind. Steve?
All right, Katie Tur. Well, this is obviously, as we said, something that's put a lot of Republicans, particularly those who have endorsed Trump in recent days, like Paul Ryan, in a very uncomfortable position. How uncomfortable? Well, the question they were all asked this weekend in the various interview shows was, are these comments racist? And look at them trying to field this question.
Or do you consider what he did here racism?
I think that it was a mistake. I think that I hope it was sloppiness.
He says that when he questions whether the judge can be fair because of his Mexican heritage, that is not racist. Do you agree?
Look, I don't condone the comments, and we can press on to another topic.
I couldn't disagree more with a statement like that.
Is it a racist statement?
I couldn't disagree more with what he had to say.
Do you think it's a racist statement to say?
I don't agree with what he had to say.
Ben Ginsberg, what's the advice here to Republicans who are in this position, like Mitch McConnell, like the Republicans we're seeing there? Is that enough? Do you have to answer that question?
Well, you probably have to answer the question on some level, but it seems to me the advice is more that this is not the subject that if you want to defeat Hillary Clinton in the fall, you should be talking about. You should be talking about the fact that you can't defeat Bernie Sanders. You should be talking about the IG report, But overall, the leadership of the Republican Party is going to follow their own moral compass. And to raise an issue like this does risk some dissent at a time that you do want the party to come together.
And Ben, I'm just curious, watching this yourself, what your assessment is, watching the fact that Donald Trump could go in the direction